Okay, I get it. You keep asking, how do I actually run my business with Naamly? Well, today we've got co-founder of Naamly, Sumit Seth, to show us how it's done. Welcome to Naamly University Online. I'm Elias Scar. Sumit, welcome back, my man. I always love to have you for an interview, and this one is perfect. It's right up your wheelhouse because we need to know, how do I actually run my business with Naamly? We talk about a lot of principles on this channel and a lot of ideas and systems and things to put into place. And now it's time to bring Naamly into that fold and see how does this work? How does Naamly affect my retention? How does it affect my sales? How does it affect the efficiency with which my staff works? So if I'm a gym owner, how do I run Naamly with my business? Can you give me an overview of what that might look like?
Well, thank you. Well, it's always nice to be here, so thanks for having me. And two, absolutely, I can do that. So you know what? Just recently, I was putting something together for our team internally. As we continue to grow, we're bringing people in, and that's one of the things. Like, whom do we cater to? Like, yes, we cater to gym owners, but what's the problem we're solving for? So since our team has grown, one of the inputs I got was like, hey, can you put some stuff together so that we can show them big picture, like you talked about the overview. What are you solving for? What's the pain point? And then kind of make the team connect with it better. So when they go out and they try to do their best to serve our clients, then they know, then they keep that at the back of their mind. So I created something that I would be really happy to share with you.
I'm a
And I
huge
do.
fan of that approach. What problem are we solving? Right? Rather
Yep.
than I'm going to create something useful and it has all these things, but it doesn't really solve any specific problem. So I'm a big fan of that approach.
Yeah, well, it came to me the hard way, Elias. Like the very first version of Namely, we sat down in an office. We were not meeting with people. I don't know what we were smoking. It was some probably good stuff because we built a whole system, a freaking amazing system, but with zero customers. And because we were just in our den, and then we changed it around to like, no, of course, that helped us to go out and connect and interact and really understand the grassroots problems. But
Hmm.
story for another day. Yeah, so we know all about wastage of time, energy, and money there. But let me show you what we came up with. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So as I look at it, you know, we'll talk about the problem, and essentially the gym has three key stakeholders. Stakeholder number one really is members, and what they're really seeking is results. And you get results through three components of accountability, of a community, and getting personalized attention. The attaboys, this works for you, this is specific to you. And the problem that the member talks about is they don't care for me, so I leave. Because though the gym owner has sold this whole version of, we're different than the global gyms, you are a part of the family, we know about you. They put in that energy initially, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. So the member starts thinking, they don't care for me, so I'm
I
leaving.
think even without like intent, right? Because the owners probably really do care, and
Oh, of
coaches
course they care.
genuinely care. But it's like a shower. Like you got to do it every day. Like it's got to be done every day if you want the results that you're looking for. So it's a lot of times like, oh, how did you? Of course I care, right? We respond with that, but how are you showing me, right? How do I know that?
I love what you just said because you will love this other part of it. And so now you have the members whose problem is, well, I want results and I leave because I believe you don't care for me, even though you sold me that you do care for me. And then you have trainers who are actually delivering on that promise for the gym owner, for the facility leader. And trainers are like all about seeking information. They want the support, right? They want good systems and they want team camaraderie because they're like, I'm an island here. Like you just can't expect me to do everything on my own. I'm a trainer for God's sake. Like I like to program and coach, and that's it. Now you're asking me to be the best salesman out there. Now you're asking me to do the best admin thing. Now you want me to be a best communicator. Like, what the hell do you want me to do? Like, so trainer's perspective is I want support. And for most of them, it's not even their full-time job, right? They're doing it as a part-time gig. So they're looking for work-life balance. So the coach goes, I do care exactly what you're talking about, but I forget when you're not here. right? So that was my summation to my team about think about the coach's lens, and think about the member's lens. Member saying, you don't care about me, so I leave. The coach is saying, I do care about you, but I forget when you're not here because I have a gazillion other balls to juggle. And then right in the middle, you have the owner. And the owner essentially is seeking loyalty. He's seeking the loyalty of the members whom he brought in, whom he individually, when he built his business, he built that relationship with. And then he got the coaches, and he's seeking their loyalty because he doesn't want the coaches to steal his clients because he built them. So the owner's seeking loyalty, but the most important thing, you get loyalty through consistent thing. Like you were talking about the shower. It's funny. Like it's so intuitive and simple, and that we forget about it, but it's absolutely point on. But you can be consistent. You can ask for loyalty, but if there's no profitability, well, the business is going to shut down. So I seek profitability, and I seek simplicity because I want simplicity so that it's scalable. It's easy to coach my coaches. It's a known fact. There's a lot of churn rate on the coaching side as well in the business. So I want simple systems, simple ways of doing things that I can easily replicate and provide that consistent experience to my clients. Now, in the process, that's what I'm seeking, but my owner is juggling a gazillion other balls at the same time, which is the balls on the top. He's talking about, oh shit, I need to have a lot of systems in place. I need something to take care of time tracking for my staff, time sessions that I've given to my members. I need to talk about, oh, when did I bill them last? When is the next schedule coming in? I need to worry about the member relation, the staff churn. I have all of these things to do. So these are your three stakeholders. And the problem is that they're all looking at it from their lens. So the whole purpose of Naamly became, how do we help you bring all these three pieces together and have a system that solves for each one of them from the lens of the owner, the coach, and the members. And that's what we really solve for. And what you can see is like these are different pathways for the coach to go in and decide on doing things. Pathway number one is, here are important dates coming up for my clients, their birthdays, their anniversaries, anything else like, that you want to capture. It's right there. It's right there. And what we do really, really well is it's not only do we give you the information, we also let you use that information to send a message right from there. So it's depict and act right there in one screen. So you're not jumping through hoops to take action.
Well, just a quick implementation question. So I know one of the biggest challenges that gym owners have is getting their staff to adopt something new, whether it's software, a new SOP, a new system. Do you find that having dedicated time set aside for your coaches, as in here's your communication time, whether it's 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, this is your communication time. They log into Naamly and then they just go through their process of utilizing the software. Do you find that more effective than just like, here's this new tool, use it at your leisure?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Yeah, it's all about consistent daily habits. So the former mostly, here's a designated time. Now you can decide how to best use it. That designated time could be even in between sessions if there's a 15-minute window, because these can be done so quickly. And that's exactly what we kept in mind, because you're on the run as a coach. You typically are going session to session to session. And sometimes if you're lucky, you can probably take a pee break. So keeping that in mind, that was our yardstick, believe it or not, internally when we were developing this and saying, can you get to things so quickly, both with your phone as well as with your desktop, because we have things on the side. Now, part of it is doing, but people can do stuff only once they're told how best to do it. And that's where we really, really shine, in the sense you can see a lot of these question marks, right? So these are self-help. You click on it, it will tell you what is happening, what needs to happen in this particular screen. You have our tutorial libraries built in that you can go to right on the top right. And then bottom, you should be able to see our phone number and our email address. And we have a designated team. So it's a combination, right? It's like, hey, if you want to do it yourself, most coaches do, then here's your stuff, do it. But then we also want you to reach out to us or have initial sessions, just because even if it's simple, you still need an overview to understand where do I go to look. And that's what we do.
So how would I, as a gym owner, know that all of my members are being reached out to, all of them are being talked to, that the coaches are, how would I know that that work's getting done? So I can, number one, know that it's getting done, but number two, maybe celebrate or high five that coach for, hey, thanks for staying on top of it. Like I'm a big fan of reporting as a tool for praise rather than reporting as a tool for here's what you're missing. Is there something like that in Naamly that could help me do a good job of making sure the work's getting done?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And we're the same way, right? It's accountability and celebration, because accountability is a nice way of saying slap on the wrist. That's what accountability is. You said you would do this, but you won't. But the positive side of it is I'm holding you accountable because I know you're able to, you can be able to be held accountable too. And then the celebration part. So the celebration part is exactly on the bottom, like this accomplishments thing. It tells you from a weight perspective, other goals that you may have. Again, garbage in, garbage out. So you got to be able to put the goals in. But once you do put the goals in, then you can absolutely use these to say, are you coming true on those goals? And you can reach out to them again from the same screen. Now, that's one part of it.
So we're not just tracking communication, we're tracking actually like member stats, member goals here as well.
100%. Because it's all like you sold the promise that you're an individual with individual needs, individual challenges, individual pains. So we capture that and we put it in the system. And now the coach, the person who did it, now the whole team is aware of that. So that information doesn't just sit in someone's head. You can leverage that information to keep connecting with the member so that you continue to build rapport with them, and then also tell them that you listened. And that's what the whole training program is all about, to help you get results. Like nothing beats getting results, that kind of thing.
Combination of coaches feel like it's easier to do their job. They're more successful at their job. Members feel like they're cared for and looked after. Just a quick sidebar, when you talk about like front end loading of goals, like capturing all this information, I know as a former gym GM, I know how excruciatingly frustrating it can be to go from one software to a new software or adapt a new software. What does that onboarding look like? How do you make it easy for people to switch? How do you make it easy for gym owners to go, okay, this is my new thing. Can this transition be smooth and quick? What does that look like?
So yeah, transition is always one of the most important things to capture, right? Like you might have the best tool, but if no one's using it and no one is being properly trained about it, then you won't get the usage. You won't get the maximum bang for the buck, if you will. So we have dedicated onboarding sessions. Okay. We walk you through that. And it's actually compulsory for us to say, let's have a minimum of 2 sessions set up. I mean, the system is pretty self-intuitive. However, that's one of the requirements that we put in. Like, we do need 2 sessions in with your team or yourself. A lot of things are basically in the system itself, but it's like if we can
get it up and running in 2 onboarding sessions.
We can have it up and running in 2 onboarding sessions. You have visibility to it. We'll give you some homework, and it's all about using it, right? Once you start using this the tool, then you're like, yeah, it is pretty intuitive. The inertia is about using a new system, so that's what we want to remove, that friction.
I remember switching from one CRM type software to another, and it was like a 3-month process. I won't name names, but it was a 3-month process. And what is it like if I was to put like full effort into getting Naamly up and running with all that captured data, everything moved over, what does that time frame look like? How quickly could we get it up and running and utilizing it?
So you can basically get quickly, it'll take about 2 days to get the connections going with the different softwares that you have, because remember, we're the glue that brings other systems together. We'll connect with InBody, we'll connect with MyZone, we'll connect with your billing system. So that takes about a couple of days to just get all the pieces connected. And thereafter, you can basically start using it the very next day to reach out, connect, and engage with your members. That's the way it goes. But you should start seeing tangible results within 2 weeks period of time.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick. Okay. Well, that gives me a clear and hopefully the gym owners watching a clear perspective on, okay, how are we making things easier for the staff? How are we improving retention? Can you give me an example of some of the like the actual application of like text messaging that might go out or emails that might go out? Like, what does communication actually look like through Nomly?
Yeah, 100%. So before I go there, there was one more question that you asked me, which is how do, as a gym owner, I know if my team is
Oh,
acting on
yes.
things,
Yes. Thanks for
you
staying
know?
on top of that.
Yeah, of course. So I want to show you this thing on the top left-hand corner. We call these widgets. Each of them are widgets. But this widget is telling me I've had 2 new clients join me in the last 10 days, right? And it is also telling me one of those 2 people I've not connected with.
Mm.
So that's what it's doing. And like you can be doing this with sipping a glass of wine late in the evening. Just look in, log in, and see what's happening right here, or with a protein shake in the morning. Just you just know it. So 4-4, that means, of course, this is demo data. But let me click on this and I'll show you what I mean. Right there it tells me I have 2 people here, Martin and Priyanka. And look at this. Last week I connected with Martin, but I have not connected with him this week. Whereas with Priyanka, I did connect with her this week and she's engaged. That's why that one shows up. But these are my 2 new people who joined us. It tells you my date of joining. It tells me how many sessions I've had. And it just tells me when their next sessions are. Like, of course, this is my dummy data, not connected with the billing scheduling system. That's why you see blanks, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Right? Now, adding more to this, what you can also do is right from there, like this is where the redundancy comes in. Everywhere you have the bubble icon, so you can just click on it and you can send the message right from that screen without worrying about going somewhere else.
Oh, that's great.
And as I looked at it, like in this example, we were playing around with Priyanka, who's one of our team members. When it comes in, if she asks me this question, I can also create tasks for my other team members to pick up. So now it's also not only communication, it's task management, which is what we were talking about. That's one of the challenges that gym owners deal with. Like now I have another task management system. Maybe it's a spreadsheet and or a system like a Monday or Trello. I'm doing these. We've brought them all into one system. And that's what we're trying to do. So that's all under one system, if you will. And
so if I see a message that like hasn't been responded to, and for whatever, like I'm looking at the report, I see this person hasn't been responded to, I want to send a friendly reminder to a staff. I can click on task and be like, hey, real quick reminder, let's make sure we respond to this person, as offering backup to my team to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks.
actually, that part we've automated. So we have
really?
smart AI part for that piece. So let me show you that. This is a good example. So Priyanka sent this message. When is the next boot camp, right? In my contact messages, I actually have this unresponded tab, which is always going to show me which is the message that's not being responded to. And it will not disappear till I respond to this message or I purposely X out of it. Right?
Nice.
Not only that, go ahead, sorry. Yeah, you were saying something, Les.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I was excited because that not only do I not have to hold them accountable because the software will do it, but it'll save them a little bit of like, it doesn't feel like you're constantly on top of your staff to try and get them to do things when the software is actually just supporting them in the background. I love that.
100%. And it gets even a little bit better. Let's say Priyanka sent this and I still don't act on it, either because I got flaky or I just completed my session. I'm a part-timer. I just went away, right? Mm-hmm. Then we've built in, I'll just show you one of these settings. There's a gazillion of them, but I built in these message escalation settings. So if you, in your business, your gym, your SLAs, you can say if no one responds to a message within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you can select the other team members that then get notified saying, oh, there's a message sitting out there for you that you've not yet responded to, and you can have 2 levels of escalations built in. So now you can delegate to elevate, and knowing very well that if no one gets to it, then the system can ping you back and say, hey, someone's not got back to it, take a look at it, please act on it. The task component that I showed you specifically was more about as you're going back and forth in communication, it just reminds you she might be a really good candidate for this program, or for, I need to pay her back something. So now you can create a task, or maybe for a nutrition thing, I can create a task right there, because that's what happens when you're communicating. Something comes up, and instead of writing it down somewhere else on a piece of paper and then forgetting about it, I can do it on the software, and then the software remembers, puts a due date on it, and boom, it just keeps you honest and keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, what a cool way to take notes and write inside where I need those notes.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the other one of those widgets is exactly this. How many overdue tasks do I have? As you can say, I'm not a really good person from a demo perspective. I've got 45 tasks that are assigned to me that are overdue. And then I can look at and say, hey, what are the tasks that I've created? So just bringing the whole team together, telling me what's the upcoming task and all that good stuff.
This is awesome. The last question, and one of the biggest questions we have as a gym owner and running the gym, is sales. And I know that's a feature that Naamly has just like re-enhanced and refined, that sales track. So can you give me an overview of how am I going to do some prospect management and sales management within Naamly?
Yes. So sales is something that we were initially very reluctant to bring in, but then we had a lot of our clients tell us, hey, you have the tools, you have the components, can you just not bring that thing in? And what I kept on hearing in events was the set, show, close component, right? How do you just track set, show, close? So keeping that as the end in mind, we came up with our own set, show, close reporting. And I'll show you, this is what it is, and they'll walk backwards. Basically, it tells us how many demo, just it tells us how many appointments were set, how many showed up, and how many closed, and how many new leads we're getting, right in one simple spreadsheet kind of a view, which is what most gym owners use. So we just took that, brought it into the system, and we did two things with this. Thing number one we did is we let you define your own stages, your own pipeline.
Cool.
Some of them are hard coded because the system's smart enough in knowing when I reached out, it captures that as contacted. When they respond back, it captures that as two-way. And thereafter, you got to start moving the person into set stage, pending stage, or trial stage. And then you can, I was playing. So this is playing with Priyanka yesterday, talking about Timbuktu as a stage. It could be anything that you want it to be. It could be a, jump start, whatever it is, you make that go down. And then the summary views tells you exactly where each of those people are in the journey. I got 7 leads. Here they are in the journey. The ones that are closest to the money are ones in trial. Other people are set.
That stuff looks clickable. Like I could, if I wanted to see the details of that, I could just click on it.
Yes, there we go. I clicked on it. RV
cool.
shows up. Here it is. It tells you again, you can message them right from here. You can see how they, how they ascended into this particular state. Here's the communication exchange happening between that person. Again, internal demo, but you get the idea. And right from there, you can also change the stages that we were talking about as you move them through stages. So now you know where they are in the journey.
I'm actually a big fan of how easy it is to look at. Like one of the biggest nightmares as a GM is you have to learn almost your own language with certain software in order to understand the massive amount of information that you're looking at. And so the ability to just look at the thing I want to look at without being bombarded with so much other data, I think is a really powerful tool, especially as like in onboarding staff and teaching other people how to use it.
100%. It's all about simplicity, right? That was one of our big tenets. It has to be simple. If you go back to that presentation initial overview that I was showing, simplicity, that's what owners want. And we've been very mindful of keeping things simple. Yes, simple. The term itself is up for debate. What is simple to one may not be up to the other, but we talked a lot about that. We debate that point when we come up with new product development and enhancements. Like that's one of the biggest sticking point. Like, is it simple? And then we're going around saying, was it simple to you? Does it look simple? And we do some focus group sessions on that. But yeah, that's the idea. Keep it simple.
Can you just to wrap everything up? I've got a better understanding of how Naamly works retention, how it works staff, how we work sales, what it looks like running my gym. I thought this was going to be a longer interview. because it's actually easier to run through Naamly than I thought it was going to be. And I know Naamly very well. So it's again, it's a good notion of like, actually, this is way easier than you think if you just take a minute to look at it. One of the questions that I know you run into often is, okay, this sounds great, and I can see how it makes me more efficient. And if I know that time saved is money made and things become more efficient, that's really powerful. Loyalty, better customer loyalty, better client loyalty. That's a lot of pains that we're solving. Do you have either a story or somebody that you're working with, or some numbers that give me an idea of what the actual ROI might be? Like, how does retention go up? Like, I can assume retention goes up and that you probably close more sales if your follow up is much better. But do you have anything to share with us along those lines? It's a little like, sort of, some idea or some numbers behind it.
Oh, 100%. We get a lot of those stories and inputs, and we're initially we struggled because gym owners by default mostly do not keep a really good track about what their metrics are. But we would make a point when we start off like, hey, what is your length of engagement? What's your leg? And we were like, what is leg? And it's like, how long does a person stay with you? Because that's important, because can we increase the retention means can we increase the leg? And typically the leg goes up by 10 to 15 to 20%, depending on how good you're operating. Now,
that's a lot.
That is a lot, because if your typical leg is about, think about it, like 24 to 28 months, if that's how long someone stays with you, and you just added 10% is of 28 is 2.8, 3 months more, that's 3 extra months. That could go up to 20% too. So 3 to 6 extra months from that one person alone is a humongous bottom line impact to profitability.
Yeah. I mean, you spread that over 100 members, that's 300 months of additional payments. That's
exactly. So, and that's profitability. And that was one of our biggest other tenets, right?
And profitability.
Yes, you want profitability. And so that's one. On the other side of things, one of the easiest metrics that we've been able to get gym owners to track has been just revenue. It's a simple revenue. How much do you make today? And how much are you making now? And we now are very blessed to say that we have the maximum number of $1 million gyms using Naamly. And they were not all $1 million gyms when they were using us. They started out small, but they continued. Like, it's still a tool. Kudos to the gym owners for realizing that this tool can help the team, can help their business, and staying true with the processes that they put in place, and coming with that servitude mindset to serve the customer. And they've done that. And across different places now, we have success story after success story after success story of gym owners just going up and increasing their revenue after revenue. Like, I go to events, and a lot of the most profitable gyms, the highest revenue gainer for the year awards that go, they're all Naamly users. And it fills my cup to know that. And they're like, well, Naamly's definitely played a role in that, so that's really, really gratifying to hear and see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sumit. And it's always valuable time to spend with you. And for those of you that are watching, it's so much easier to run your gym with Naamly. It's so much easier than you think. The onboarding is easy. Getting people trained is easy. And obviously, if you've seen through the demo here, it's easy to use. So if you want to learn more about Naamly, don't forget to subscribe, share, smash that bell for alerts. And there's a link below that they can sign up for a demo with you, right? Now, do they do that demo with you?
Yes, they absolutely can.
Awesome. So if you want to do a demo, if you've watched this, your demo is going to go even smoother. If you want to hit a demo, click the link below and we'll get you squared away.
Thank you.